Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another Benched In podcast here at Benchmark Tool and Supply. Got Alan Collins with me today. He's our service director. This podcast is really going to be about service, and specifically service within the construction technology sector, which Benchmark Tool and Supply happens to land. We're going to talk about some of Alan's background a little bit, get to know him a little bit better, and how he took his background and put it into work here at Benchmark Tool and Supply. We're going to chit-chat a little bit about how some of the supply chain issues have affected Benchmark, our service department, and our install teams, and kind of how we've overcome those challenges. A little bit about our service department and kind of what we do, if you don't already know. And just kind of generally talk to you guys about service here at Benchmark so you guys get a better idea of who Alan is, who our service department is, and why we take so much pride and why service is such an important part of not only our business, but our customers' businesses. So, Alan, man, thanks for hopping on here. I know you're busy. Hey, not a problem. So we're going to dive in here in a second, but I got some questions for you. I know you wanted me to send you some beforehand, but I got some that I didn't send you. So, Alan, as a service director here at Benchmark Tool and Supply, what does your day-to-day look like?
So, in the mornings, I'll come in, run some reports, kind of see where our guys are for the day, see what repairs are in-house. If I'm in the office, then I'll go check in with the guys with inside service and, see if they need any assistance with system prep or with a repair, or, with scheduling, whatever it may be. Otherwise, I'll go out into the field, just kind of do a little bit of quality control, see if the guys need any assistance with any kind of training. The outside guys are pretty solid for what they do, but every now and then they run into some issues, so I'll do some support for them here as well. If they run into problems, they kind of can't work their way around.
Okay. So you are, you're all over the place on a daily basis.
Yeah, like a Swiss Army knife, I guess, used for quite a few different things, I guess.
Yeah, all over the place. Well, I guess that's part of being directors. You got to know, sort of a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
So how did you end up, we're going to kind of backtrack and then we'll kind of step into current. How did you end up here at Benchmark Tool and Supply?
In 2012, I was diagnosed with a bicuspid aortic valve. It was something that was hereditary that I had never been told that I had it before.
Mm-hmm.
It was something the doctors wanted to monitor for a couple of years, and then I ended up having heart valve replacement done in the fall of 2014.
Okay.
So at that time, I was trying to manage a business with landscaping, and over the course of about a year and a half, I saw that I needed to make some sort of career change. I had a friend that was working here at Benchmark, said that we had an opening in the service department, so I applied and started out as a repair technician.
Okay. Awesome. Just like a lot of the people here, that's kind of where you start out and learn the ropes and kind of work your way up. But you've had plenty of in the field experience, so when you talk about going out and helping the guys in the field, it's not unfamiliar territory to you.
No. So when I first come in, I would work on repairs inside. We would work on the machine control prep inside as well. I would assist the guys doing installs, which kind of introduces you to the troubleshooting process.
Okay.
And then started doing the service calls and stuff on my own. So went from there.
Okay. So we'll go back a little bit because you mentioned in landscaping. How, from my understanding, you own that business, correct?
Correct.
And how long did you own that landscaping business for?
Just over 20 years.
Okay. So a lot of experience running multiple aspects of a piece of business.
Correct.
How did your 20 years of business ownership and a landscaping application, how did that help you prepare for your role here?
I think for where I'm currently at now, it helped me, be able to work with people, and manage people, because I obviously had to do that for quite some time. And then just customer service, because, if your customer service is terrible, you really don't keep clients. And the other thing is attention to detail, and landscaping, that is, the detail is what keeps your customers or your clients.
Sure.
So I think that translates well to what we do here.
And just talking, the little time that I've been here, you said on the head, like customer service is key. If you don't have that, and it's too easy now with Google and all the review sites. If you screw up one time, somebody can tank your reputation like
yeah,
that.
Your name is basically your business now.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Your reputation.
And you owned your business before Google was.
That's
really,
right. That's
was
right.
the thing. Not that word of mouth isn't powerful, because that's also, I mean.
So that was probably 80% of my business was word of mouth.
Sure.
And just I did some ads, but that was back in like newspaper ads.
Yeah. Yep. Gotcha.
So,
hit the Sunday funnies.
That's right.
So we'll kind of transition into now. What I want people to get out of this podcast is to really understand sort of how we run our service department, the values that we've got behind it, and how you kind of lead that and kind of trickle down to everybody that our customers are going to deal with on a daily basis. So as far as you are concerned, I want to get this from your perspective. How is running a smooth and efficient service department? Why is that so important?
Being smooth and efficient, it translate into trying to keep the customers in and out. You want the repairs to be quick as they can be, but you want them to be efficient, but you also want them to be make sure that they're not breaking things or tearing things up more than they're actually repairing.
Which guys do so well.
Yeah, it can happen, but that's part of the learning process. But,
sure.
But if you can get the customers in and out and eliminate the downtime, our ultimate goal is to keep the customers running.
And obviously everybody wants to work, but why in the world is it so important to keep our customers running as opposed to somebody who's maybe not familiar or not in the construction industry, who's not familiar with it? Why does downtime matter?
Well, downtime with GPS equipment, lasers, whatever it may be, you're stopping production on job sites. If they have a base station down that they're running with a dozer, so then they're not running the corrections for the dozer on the models, or lasers. Somebody may be using them for just checking grade. May not be to the GPS level yet, but it's still just as important to them as the GPS equipment is.
Gotcha. And downtime, you're talking about maintaining a piece of equipment and putting fuel in it and having a guy there. It's expensive when you're not able to get those corrections. And the dozer just kind of sits idle in that time?
Yeah, if the machine's not running, that's thousands of dollars a day that it's sitting, and you've got an operator that, if he may be a salary employee, then he's getting paid and so that's also costing the company.
Yeah.
It just creates a lot of overhead when there is downtime.
Yep. So keeping that in mind, we've obviously a lot of times the first point of contact for a customer of ours is the phone.
Yeah.
What is the typical phone call look like when it comes into our service department?
So most of our calls come in as support issues.
Okay.
So we have a pretty good system set up where we've got a phone tree that they dial in for help, and Andy Hicklin kind of heads that part of that up. But
okay.
And that's where the iSight support comes in.
Okay.
So if they have it available, we remote into their machine so we can kind of help diagnose an issue, or they may call in for help with just setting up GPS on their site. A lot of times it's connection issues, but then as we troubleshoot the issue, it may turn into an on-site repair, or if the customer wants to bring it by, they can also repair it here in the shop.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and I know, if I'm not mistaken, our general time frame for phone calls, usually if we can't get to it in 15 minutes or less, you've got something going on that we need to get out there.
Yeah, so most of the time, we try to limit that phone conversation to that 15, 20-minute mark. Most of the time, we can kind of get an idea of what the problem is, get enough information to get parts, a part breakdown of what our technicians need to take with them to go to the job sites.
Mm-hmm.
And usually we try to have them turn around within, the 24 to 48 hour range.
Gotcha.
to be back on site.
Okay. You talked a little bit about iSight. I want to just dive into that. Can you just explain what iSight is quickly and why it's so important that customers have that technology in their dozers or excavators?
So iSight is a remote support service that we offer here at Benchmark. We put it on their handheld tablets, and we put it on the screens for dozers, excavators, motor graders. It allows us to remote into the screen that the operators see, and we can do file transfers. If there's job changes, we can behind the scenes kind of drop the files in for the operators, or if they're having issues, we can see what the operator's seeing and diagnose issues based off of that.
Okay. And in today's society, I know everybody's worried about security. We're not sitting back here messing with your files. I mean, you've got to call in. You've got to give us the reason and permission to be in there, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure we clarify that, because I know
right.
the idea that somebody's tapping into my excavator is probably not ideal. But again,
so the only people that have access to that company file is, the company itself or, our support group.
So I want to jump into kind of the scope of our capabilities, both with our install and support team and then our inside service team. So
Gotcha.
When it comes to the outside installers and outside service, what are we able to do when we go out to a job site?
So we can, when we get on site, we can do something as simple as replace a cable in on a GPS cable. We can repair down to the board level if that is the issue, or, we can install complete systems. We can update firmware, update software. Just they're a pretty well-rounded group, and most of them come through service, so they kind of have an experience with doing a little bit of everything.
Gotcha. So, yeah, they're not looking at a system they haven't seen before. They've started out like you. They went through inside, prove themselves,
Correct.
prove that they had the knowledge and the skill to work on it, and then we kind of bump them up.
That's right.
Cool. Awesome. What about inside? Definitely not knocking the inside guys, because they're fantastic at what they do.
Yeah, the inside guys, they'll do something as simple as cable repairs, prepping new equipment that comes in the door, from lasers to optical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
They also repair these that are coming in from the customer if they're damaged, kind of diagnose the issue, replace the components that are internal to get it back working again.
Okay.
Go through calibration processes to get that instrument back, what the specs levels is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Also just do maintaining with the clean and calibrate. It's recommended 6 months to a year, depending on what type of instrument you got.
Okay. And they're not trained, because Bob showed Steve how to do it. Then Steve showed Mike how to do it, right? This is
right. all these guys are they're TopCon trained.
This is going to be a fun one, and I hope you had some time to think about. But I wanted to kind of shine the spotlight on an employee or two if we had the opportunity.
All right.
Can you think of a time when a team member, either service, inside or out, just went above and beyond kind of the job expectation?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a daily thing for both groups. Inside service, outside service, training, phone support. I feel like we're all kind of trained ourselves to go above and beyond, no matter what the situations may be.
Yeah, fair enough. And that plays to one of our core values. Seek solutions.
Correct.
These guys are all self-driven. They're hard workers, and they want to succeed. They want to do better than they did the day before.
That's right.
Cool. All right. I love it. I hate that you can't pick one person, but I love that it's everybody.
Well, I mean, we have a good team. I feel like we're a pretty well-rounded group, and, I feel like we all kind of pitch in to try to do the best we can to go above and beyond to make things happen.
Yeah. I know that whenever I head back into the inside shop, there's constant communication. There's some joking, there's some laughing, and there's a lot of cross-learning and helping out. So I fully understand, and I see that on a daily basis. Kind
of like a business,
it is.
We're all just moving around with our own thing that we got to do, but, the end result is, we get things accomplished.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges we faced, both with repairs, installs, and service with the inventory shortage. Everybody's dealing with inventory shortages. It's affected us. We have not been immune to it. I feel like we were fortunate, and we were hit sort of later on in that time frame,
right.
Just the general construction industry. How have you guys managed that inventory shortage?
So what it makes us do is kind of repair things, whereas, a customer in the past may not have wanted to go to the extent to repair, like rebuild a cable that, that's pretty torn up, but our only option right now is to rebuild it. We've also had to take new inventory, break them down into components just to have parts available. break down kits, pull cables, so just to make sure we have things that we need to service the customers on outside service calls.
Gotcha. Yeah, so not ideal for you guys, but I mean, it slowed us down a little bit, but it doesn't seem like much. We're kind of making it happen.
Yeah, it still has a pretty good effect on us, but it's we've learned to kind of deal with the situation that we're given and make the best of what we got.
Have you seen any changes for the better in timing and getting new parts?
We've seen some increase in getting some of the products in, but it's still we get just crazy ETAs, but we try to work with what we have.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you got to do what you got to do at some point.
That's right.
So we'll kind of wrap up with a general question. Everybody needs help. Everybody's hiring right now, including Benchmark. So if you had to give a piece of advice, or if anybody out there is interested in learning what Benchmark does, or you're interested in applying, what are some attributes or some skills or some job experience that you'd like to see for an incoming new hire?
Yeah, I know most of the people have some type of electronics or some kind of mechanical know-how that when they come in, either whether it be small repairs, electronic repairs, or auto mechanics or diesel mechanics. A history with ag engineering. We have quite a few people in that, but main thing is somebody coming in with an open mind and willing to learn.
Yeah, awesome.
We also look for people that blend well with the group that we have too.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think on that, when I was interviewed here, a big thing was the core values, making sure that you're a team player, you're passionate, you're going to make a mistake, that you own that mistake, that you're enthusiastic about helping others, and you seek solutions. I may have missed a few. I think that is, you hit on that, kind of important, that you're willing to learn, and that's a big thing.
That's right.
So we have at Benchmark, we've recently kind of started getting into the landscaping and turf management field, because those industries are transitioning into putting GPS and laser on their equipment. I know we've brought on ABI Force, which you guys have probably seen in some of our videos. We've got Tracknology on board, who does automated paint spraying. And we've got a couple other new customers that we're going to be bringing on. You have unique experience because you were a landscaper for 20 years.
Correct.
But how have you managed the influx of information we've had to learn to sell the products, to service them, to provide support for them? It's a lot. So how have you guys taken that on?
So a lot of us have went through the Kohler training. I know the ABI machine has Kohler engines on it, so we have to do some of the warranty work when customers do have some downtime with those, so we have to troubleshoot issues, but we go through the factory training so that we can get parts and make warranty claims. With the experience using, the types of machines that I use, kind of translates over into the types of machines that we have with ABI, and then just using the sprayer systems.
Yeah, and I know, a lot of times we get the factory guys to come train us. I know you and I, well, I didn't do much yesterday, but you and I, we're joined with the Tracknology Install Tech, and we ripped our old Gator apart. Y'all had it taken apart, the seats, the hood, the back trunk. And I know y'all working on the Gator. You had the seat taken off. You guys were putting in pieces and turning our old Gator into a new paint sprayer. So a lot of it is spending time with those factory reps and learning what the system is and how to use it. So it's hands-on training too.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. I learned something. I'm a marketing guy. Doesn't mean I can't get my hands there a little bit, but just watching y'all kind of run through an install process for a product you've never seen before, the knowledge you were able to pick up from the install tech and he was able to share to you, that's invaluable to be there from the bottom up to see how it's put on a machine and then how it works.
Yeah, they translate over to some of the other systems that we have on the ag side with the auto steer. So it's something that we're kind of used to seeing, but it's just scaled down to the Gator. So
yeah, fair. And I think that's why we got into it, right? It's technology we're familiar with, but to your point, just kind of scaled down a little bit. Nothing really scared us away, and nobody else is really doing it.
Yeah, there's also we could see that that's something that would it'd be a pretty big demand with all the sports fields that are going up in these areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. So I always like to end by just asking a very open-ended question. Are there any final thoughts you had that you just wanted to share with our listeners about the Benchmark Service Department, why we take it so seriously, and why it's so important for our customers to know that we do take it so seriously?
Man, it's a loaded question, isn't it?
It is. It's an open one, but it's a good one, though. I mean, we do take it seriously. We have to, because our customers take it seriously.
Correct. Well, if people have TopCon products or even non-TopCon products, we do repairs in-house. We do calibrations in-house. We try to turn them as fast as we can to keep the downtime to a minimum. And the turnaround times are something that we do try to pay very close attention to, so that we limit that. Same for repairs. Same, as long as we can get the parts here, we get them out, turn them as fast as we can. Same thing with the machines and stuff on site. We try to keep that 24-hour to 48-hour turnaround time. So, if someone needs service, you can call the service department. It's 919-835-2127, or for support and to set up service calls, you can call 919-835-2128.
Yeah, we also have a new text number to use, and I'll have Kyle put that up on the screen. But if you do need support and for whatever reason you just don't feel like calling us or you can't get through, you can go ahead and text this number on the screen right now, and that's going to create a service ticket, and we'll reach out to you. I believe it's within 12 hours.
That's right.
Cool. So, Alan, hey, thank you so much for jumping in here, man. I know you're extremely busy, but thank you for sharing your...
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate sharing your input on this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your time. Please check back for more from the Bench In Podcast. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.